Aloha! Hey everybody, Aloha Monkey Shorecast Podcast here. Season 2, Episode 1. And tonight our special guest is Johnny Brue and the Brue Crew.
I've heard of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
The Brue Crew has been a mainstay of the Jersey Shore bar scene for many years now. Growing up in Point Pleasant, John has been a soloist. He's also worked as a duo and has a full working band. Today, the Brue Crew is a group of multi-talented musicians that have been entertaining locals and tourists alike since 1997, proving that they're the best happy hour band on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, that's for
Aloha
sure.
Monkey is happy to have the Brue Crew on their podcast tonight to discuss their career and what we can look forward to in 2020. Aloha, Brue Crew.
Aloha! What's up, man?
That was very nice.
Bob,
He's done this once or
done
twice.
I do my
Very
homework.
nice.
Yeah, I do my homework.
Very nice.
So basically, this is the first time we're doing a cover band.
Yeah.
We've been doing all original guys, but we really wanted to do more cover bands because we're the guys out there hitting the streets all the time.
Yep.
And we share our fans with you, and you guys play a lot more than us, so. They can't see us on a Friday. They're going to be coming over to see the Brue Crew, And
Sharing is caring.
That's right. We highly
Absolutely.
endorse the Brue Crew, and they're a lot of fun, and they are the best happy hour band on the Jersey Shore.
That's for sure.
No, that's what it says on your website.
Yeah, well, exactly. I wrote that. I'm not sure. There's some
Websites
other
can't
good
lie,
ones, but
right?
Yeah,
exactly. If it's on the internet,
It's on the internet. That's
Bob.
right. It is true.
Just to post exactly in the timing. This is the day after the Super Bowl, by the way. So
Yes,
we're
thank
all
you.
in a fit chase right
Adam,
now. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all dragging a little bit.
I was going to ask you guys. This
Just
is the
a little.
first podcast on Super Bowl Monday. I'm
that's-
assuming we're
yeah,
first.
I think this is going to be the only podcast
yeah,
we're doing.
pretty
on
much.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but this is great. Well, thanks for coming.
Hey,
seriously.
thanks for having us, guys. We love you, and
Yeah.
I love what you say about sharing. I've always felt like this is a fraternity. It's not a competition. It's a fraternity. And we're trying to help each other out, and you guys have been great helping our name. We're trying to help you guys, and
Yep.
We appreciate
good stuff.
So, John, you've been everybody here. Did everybody grow up in Point Pleasant, or no?
No, I didn't. I grew up in Brick, actually, just over the water. So
I'm in Brick too. So,
By the way, for all the listeners out there, that was Adam here. So we got John,
Yeah.
we got Adam, we got John, and
Yeah.
we've got Jamil. So
why don't you
Let Johnny
introduce them?
introduce the rest of the band.
Adam Niedzwicki, who is we refer to him as the best kept secret on the Jersey Shore, which I'm not so sure he's such a secret anymore. But the boy
he's
can
not.
shred.
I'm a secret to myself.
Yeah, John Haney, who I went to high school with Johnny.
Yeah, we
so
graduated
it's
together.
really,
Class of
really
81, yeah.
right. I've known each other a long time,
yeah.
and good friends, and very good harmonica player. Maybe the best harmonica player on the Jersey Shore,
I would
and
try
the
to say,
best
yeah.
drummer on the Jersey Shore.
Oh,
yeah, look at that.
you've been replaced, Adam.
wait a second.
Yeah, wait a second. Right, maybe second us. Jamil's our problem child. We love him. I hope you can cut that out later, because.
He hates that. He hates that.
And John brought Jamil to us very recently, and I, being a lead singer, I just love the tastefulness of a small kit, which you are very familiar with.
Influenced me. I went and bought one.
Nice, light sticks, and makes it where you can sing 7 nights. We work like crazy in the summer. We're out every night.
guys work a lot.
Do a lot of doubles, and the drummers sometimes can tend to get a little loud. And then Adam's guitar goes up. Oh, hi, Adam. Everything goes up
I
with
had
the
to
vocals.
laugh when I was looking. We've had a lot of success this year, thanks to Adam over here. Our Adam, the English Adam, English Adam, American Adam.
That. All right,
You got
all right,
English
we got this
Adam,
right.
American Adam. English Adam
Spoken with a
has done
British
a phenomenal
accent.
job getting Aloha Monkey booked this year, and but so we were talking one time. We're like, wow, we have all these gigs. And I was like, yeah. John has as many gigs. John Brue has as many gigs in a week as we have until March.
You know, I'm just getting very happy to hear you say that. Kudos, because people underestimate the talent
It takes
of
to put, yeah.
booking the band.
Booking the band is
And it
it's
can
a
be
whole nother
headaches,
talent.
and
Yeah.
you try and get new rooms, and they're not available.
Yeah.
I always call it being persistent, but not pushing where you start pissing them off or whatever.
Yep.
But there's a real talent. So kudos, bro. It's
Yeah,
a real-
yeah, no, but yeah, I'll tell you, you guys are busting it.
And we always felt
it's good.
Well, I think we used to use, what was that commercial? The who was the old guy that did it the old-fashioned way? Remember that commercial?
Yeah,
we
I don't remember.
earned it. We like Adam and I.
Smith Barney.
Smith Barney. To
Yeah.
give Adam
We
kudos, we went out
earned
when
it.
that Bose pole first came out. I think it was in L1, and
Yeah.
we went out, and I would call bar owners up and say, I always love this line: "What nights don't you do music?" And they're like, "What? What nights don't you do music? Huh? What are you talking?" We don't do music on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Okay, we're going to come in, if it's cool with you guys, next Tuesday night, maybe chuck us a draft beer or two, and we're going to do a set for you on the house. And boy, did it work. I mean, I don't think there's a room we didn't get.
No.
Mostly because Adam's talent, not mine, but to give my brother a shout out.
Stay tuned for more of the Aloha Monkey Jersey Shore podcast after these messages.
The Aloha Monkey Shorecast Podcast is brought to you by No Knot Necklace Carrier. Are you tired of ruining your necklaces with knots and kinks? No Knot keeps jewelry tangle-free and organized in an attractive, easy-to-pack carrier. It's perfect for travel and home and available for under $20. Check out noknotnecklace.com for links to Amazon, Walmart, and other online retailers. No Knot Necklace Carrier. Don't get twisted.
All right, we're back, and thank you to No Knot Necklace for being a sponsor of the Aloha Monkey Shorecast podcast. So we're here talking to the Brue Crew, and we'd like to see where you guys started. So tell us about your beginnings. When you started playing. Everybody, I guess you can.
Hey, Bobby, I'm old. How much time you got?
Yeah.
I guess I'll start. Started on the drums, or actually I started on the guitar back in the 5th grade. My dad bought me a nice little acoustic guitar.
We don't have that kind of time.
We're going way back. I'm taking 5th grade, which was I think 1836. I think was the year.
Oh, that was the year. That was the year ahead of Bob.
I think you got right. And I think the year before
Graduated the same day.
The year before they had just invented the acoustic guitar, so it was a very good time. But I'll never forget, my dad bought me Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues book, and believe it or not, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Now, Adam's a big Tony Orlando and Dawn fan, so we do a lot of that. But
dude, no one had a mustache like Tony Orlando back in the day.
Absolutely, you're right.
So,
And the girls,
and the
pretty to
girls,
look at,
come
and
on,
boom.
it was like.
But I grew up in a house, and shout out to my dad, who was he sang in an a cappella band when he was a youngster, and he was a huge Elvis guy, always music in the house. In fact, years later, when Billy Joel the Stranger came out, he had the Cordoba with the fine Corinthian leather, T-tops out, pulls in with Billy Joel just over and over, Only the Good Die Young, and really, really good stuff. So I grew up in a musical household. I think I was 8th grade, maybe 7th grade when Kiss Alive came out. And drummers, something with Peter Criss and the double bass. I said, I'm going to play drums. So I swung over to the drums and played the drums all through high school, played in a band called Holidays in high school, and then a great band in college called Suspicious Minds. Shout out Suspicious Minds, Brian Lineback, Neil Burt, who else am I missing?
Neil
Pearl, I'm sorry, my God. Yeah, Rest in peace, Neil Peart, too, right. Hey, we had a good drummer in college, man. He was pretty good. This is pre-Rush.
What did you do, carry his sticks?
Yeah, exactly. His stick bag.
Was that by any chance an Elvis tribute band?
That was not, but that was actually, what's funny you said that? Suspicious Minds was predicated on my dad and my dad's love for Elvis. We just thought it was a cool name. And the best thing about that is we were like best friends. Paul Guerra is the other one. Sorry, Paul, if you're going to listen to this. But always used, I'm reading this, and this is years forward, and I love this quote by B.B. King. Anthony DeCurtis, writer for the Rolling Stone, I think. He is interviewing B.B. King, and I will never forget this. Adam saw B.B. King shortly before he passed, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Curtis poses this question about, when you're going down the road with these musicians, what are you looking for in the musicianship? You're looking for obviously better than and he goes, well, I'll never forget this. B.B. King cuts him off and goes, whoa. Musicianship is second. I'm going to spend a lot of time with these guys, traveling the world. I want to like these guys. And I've always tried to surround myself with that. In college, we were best friends. These guys are, John, I go way back. Adam's like a brother to me. Jamil's my problem. My younger child problem child.
I think it says stepchild.
Jamil, it sucks to be the new guy sometimes.
Yeah, right. Exactly
I got that feeling too in this band. I'm always the new guy.
Right.
No, but actually, exactly what you say. It's the harmony. Not to talk about harmony, Mr. Harmony over here, but it's the harmony of everyone that you play with. I mean, you got to like them. You got to get on, and then everything else is just secondary. That's what makes it work.
Bobby, who's not with us, but Bobby Lame, shout out to our great guitar player and bass player.
Yeah.
He said it to me years ago when he came on board. He goes, we all know, and thanks for having a cover band. I think we're your first cover band you're interviewing.
Yeah.
We're not making $1 million here.
Yeah.
You better like each other. You better enjoy yourselves. If
Yeah.
you're not, it's not,
It's not worth it. It's
Right.
definitely not worth it.
Right.
Yep.
So I've always tried to surround myself with talented guys that I really enjoy too.
And I think it says the same thing about your fan base and everyone that follows you. I mean, everyone's happy. All your shows, it's
fun. Yeah.
Thank you
Everyone's
so much for
smiling.
saying
Everyone's
that.
singing. Everyone, you know what I mean?
Thank you for saying that. I've
Really?
always like people come up to Adam, and it's just a natural thing because he's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So and I love that, and I love hearing compliments like that. But my favorite compliment has always been, "Oh my God, you guys are so much fun."
Yeah.
It's just the best compliment in the world for me.
It's a blast.
Bobby's good too.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
enjoy him playing the bass. He's very good.
Yeah, say if
Yeah.
if you're having fun, it's easy for them to have fun. No one wants to go out to see a band and see a bunch of guys like bored, disinterested,
staring at their shoes. Yeah.
maybe not vibing with each other because they're quarreling because they don't get along. You know,
They just a really good band.
they could be a great band,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if they're not having fun, then it just translates right into everybody in the house. You
Yeah.
know, and it's important. It's a huge part of what we do is that people have to see you having fun.
Well, I think
you-
I think you come from the same vibe that we try to come from.
I would
Music's important. Being able to play well, it's important. Sing well,
Absolutely.
whatever. But you're an entertainer.
Yeah. You know what? And thank you for saying that because I've always said this too. I am an average guitar player with an average voice, but I am a good entertainer. And
Yeah.
kudos to you guys because I watch you guys and I'm like,
You gotta
almost like
entertain.
looking in a mirror.
Yeah,
you
you
guys
gotta
have the
entertain.
same kind of vibe. The Aloha, I love. I mean, you got to entertain.
Yeah.
That's what keeps people coming back.
I mean, that's why we try to always do requests.
Mm-hmm.
We make a set list, whatever. I know you guys do, sometimes not, whatever. But we make a set. But we played Saturday night. We were off the set list within 5 songs.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
It was like
That doesn't
you know,
happen all the time, but yeah,
No,
we
but
did.
sometimes those are the best nights
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Where
Hey,
you're like,
can
oh
I-
my
can I
God,
tell
how
you?
much fun was that?
We played Rosalita.
Never did that.
Never did that
Isn't
before.
it that Bruce Springsteen guy?
Yeah, it's like Bob's like, you understand this is like an encyclopedia of lyrics, right?
Right.
So,
You're right. It's a Bob Dylan song with a lot of chord changes too, man. That's not an easy one to just pull out.
yeah, you're entertaining, and that I think that's what everyone loves about coming to see you guys. In all the iterations of Brue Crew, you guys are entertaining, and that
Correct.
When you see a
Helps out
picture
everyone.
on Facebook of the drummer standing on top of his drums, giving the peace V sign at the back of that, you're having fun. That's a blast.
Absolutely. That would be Jamil, by the way.
That's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, besides the fun, part of the fun comes from, I think personally, is the humility of the players that you're with. Is if everyone's humble, and me personally, I think I'm the best mediocre drummer going. We're playing ultimately other people's music, so you can't get full of yourself. You just have to be humble, have fun with the guys you're with.
Have fun with the crowd.
Have fun with the crowd,
Yeah.
and most of all, be in the moment and play for the music. Not, this is not the Jamil show. It's not
Yeah.
the John show. Although,
Adam, you didn't tell him we were going to change it to Jamil and the Brue Crew? That's the new band name, bro.
I didn't get the memo.
You didn't get the memo on that? Adam wanted to say something, I think?
No.
Yeah,
Mr. Haney, do you want to say anything?
John
We're just
Haney
cruise
is
along.
very quiet.
Yeah.
He's
we're
like
in
thinking.
the early years.
I
This
can
is
see-
even.
I can
This
see
is
the
not
smoke.
even.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is pre
this
John
is-
Haney.
this
This
is-
is pre.
yeah.
The only other thing I'll say is when I met John in about 8th grade when he was going into high school, and his dad, great guy. He's like my dad and his dad. They were just great fathers and really were concerned about what we were going to do later on in life, and but they let us do what we wanted to do and supported us, which was awesome.
You
And
know what?
yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to my
Yeah.
mom and dad, your mom and dad, for the support. Mom and dad, I love you, and always supportive. And you know what? While I'm thinking of it, because I always forget that, shout out to the wives. My beautiful
kidding.
wife, Jennifer Brue, I love you. And so,
Yeah.
this is a tough business on relationships, correct?
Yep.
We can all agree on that. And Adam will tell you. Go ahead, Adam.
Just so you know, Scott, you can't edit this part out because
This is, I'm hoping this is going to come around.
this is how he's out of the house on a Monday night.
This is how we get,
I'm
you
thinking
score
the night,
points on this?
I'm,
Okay.
I'm thinking the night this airs, I might get lucky if Jen hears that. Baby, I love you and thank you for the support because she's always at a young age been very,
I think
very supportive.
I think I'm the
TMI,
aberration. I'm the aberration of the crowd usually, because like when I met up with Bob and we were playing with Bad Dog and all that, I started like looking around the room and like everyone's on their third and fourth wife.
Yep.
Adam's not.
And I'm married to the same girl for 32 years. So
27 over here.
So I'm definitely the aberration.
Shout
here,
out to Scotty and Bobby Lane and
good.
Bobby to get a listen. Bobby, same thing. Married, I think 26 years now. His beautiful
It's
wife
like-
Karen. So that's an accomplishment. And that tells me.
But you're
good
right.
wife.
It is not
Good-
always easy.
You need a good woman. You need a
But
good
you're right.
woman
It's not
to
always
understand.
easy, and the spouses and girlfriends, and they're always very supportive. So
A round of applause for the wives.
Hey, for the wives, the girls, girlfriends, wives,
And the ones that
absolutely.
show up every week.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
So anyway, what are your influences? I want to start with
Yes.
with Adam.
Let's go around
All right.
the horn.
All right.
And when did you start playing, Adam?
I started playing like in 7th grade.
Did you have a group in high school?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I played with a bunch of different people here and there. Nothing that was steady, nothing that really stuck. It was mostly just, hey, let's get a band together and play this battle of the bands, that kind
Anybody
of stuff.
older in my generation, my class?
If you knew Dave Gorman,
Dave Gorman, that sounds familiar.
yeah, he was big. He was big into. He had this idea to do a punk band, and it was kind of like a joke punk band, more or less. And it was like actually the first real band I ever played with. And Bob Brady, who was with this band Lost, and he also played bass with the Wanderers.
Yeah.
He was the bass player.
Was he in 81 or was he?
He
it's
might
probably-
have
I think
been,
it was 80, right?
yeah, something like 80, 81, somewhere in there. They graduated.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but to a certain extent, you guys were kind of running in the same circles a few
Yeah,
years
that's what I
off.
was asking.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting.
So, but yeah, that was mostly it. My big thing actually in high school was I was playing in the jazz band, the school jazz band. So I did that.
shows, yeah.
I did that from sophomore year through senior year.
When did the light switch?
What's that? Which light switch?
Well,
When you play all the
like
correct
I
notes.
started playing, I was probably about 12, 13 when I started playing.
Right.
And like all of a sudden, I don't know, I was probably about 17, and that light went off. I was like, oh, I actually kind of know what I'm doing. It's like
I'm
this is
gonna
kind of
cut
19
Adam
and you-
off.
you
Let
said,
me
I
say it
don't
is.
know what I'm doing.
He picked up a guitar and the light went off. He's one of those guys, I have no doubt in my mind. We always joke around that we could put Adam on a shoebox with 4 strings on it and he would just shred.
They do make cigar box guitars.
They
you
do.
go.
They
There
do.
you go.
I-
So you didn't say who your influences were?
Oh, I'm sorry.
because I cut him off.
Yeah, because you cut me off, as you always do. I don't know. Probably every guitar player that ever played something that I thought was cool. So, I mean, it's all the great classic rock guys from, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, Hendrix, Van Halen, Pete Townsend, all those guys.
I was hoping to hear Terry Kath.
Yeah, actually, I got into once I got into hanging with other guys that were like in like the jazz band and everything. My listening kind of expanded, and they were always listening to Chicago because it was the only rock and roll that had
With the
horns
horns,
in
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't want to listen to 50s stuff,
Kath was
so-
a beast, though.
Oh, he
man.
was. He was amazing. He's amazing. But yeah, that's and it's funny too when you talk about like these guys talking about like John and John talking about like growing up in a musical household and all that other kind of stuff. It's like I always wish I could tell that story, but way my story went with playing guitar was. I wanted to play an instrument probably from as early as I can remember. And the answer was always no, because you're going to quit and we're going to be stuck with a piano or we'll be stuck with a violin or we'll be stuck with this or that. So in 7th grade, I signed up for this beginning guitar class. And the first day we got to take the guitars home to practice. So it was kind of like, all right,
This
that
was
Miss
Some
forced
Mason?
on them.
class forced this on them. So yeah.
Was that Miss Mason
for
over
you,
on
Adam.
Princeton Avenue?
No, that was in Lake Riviera. So that was Mr. Lawson.
Good for you.
wherever
Miss
he
Mason made
is.
her own like telecasters that everybody could take home. She was a Point Pleasant music teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I took lessons from her. in the
She
beginning.
hated Kiss, though.
So what we
Which
get to John?
I never saw eye to eye with Miss Mason because I brought my Kiss album in once, and she was like, "What's this garbage?" I'm like, "I don't like you."
Kiss almost changed my life. I mean, they really did.
Well, to pick up from where Miss Mason was, she was one of my teachers, music teachers in school. Yeah. And I wrote my first song with her.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, when
yeah?
a xylophone. Everybody got xylophones, and and we had a contest, and I didn't win, but
Real quick, that explains a lot why you have all these unique instruments in your truck. The xylophone was your first instrument. It's like
I don't know.
and a marimba
Followed by the
Glockenspiel.
and a glockenspiel. You losers.
Johnny was a cool one in high school.
I don't know where I can narrow it down to, but when I started out with music, I mean, right away, I couldn't wait to go to Boston and see my great grandmother and pound on her piano. When I was really young, and they let me do it and get away. I couldn't wait to do that. So music was always in my bones, and it was mostly from my mom's side of the family. My uncle played guitar, things like that. But my first instrument, I have to say, that I really got good on was trumpet. I did that in 6th grade, and I really escalated pretty fast, pretty far on that. But like everything, my mind just kept going, and I always wanted to do something new. So I got into electronics and video, and kind of the trumpet kind of went to the side, and I started doing lighting and sound. I was in plays when I was 7th grade. I played kids' parts in high school plays, won them, 7th and 8th grade. So being on stage, being in the music world, I actually left. I was in jazz band. I left jazz band and band altogether for video and electronics. Later on, I kind of in my high school, senior year, I turned back into playing the trumpet again and some other things.
Do you guys back to Johnny
Yeah.
Cash? Shout out to Johnny Cash. We all love Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys cover Ring of Fire?
Yeah, we.
When John
With
first
a
came
kazoo.
on with us.
Yeah, with a kazoo.
Nice. When Johnny first came on with us, he used to bring his trumpet out, and it was one of the coolest songs we ever covered. When you had that with the trumpet, killer.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't even
awesome.
think about that.
Adam, I think
So
you
you still
should
have the
start bringing
armature,
it.
huh? You still have
Well, I don't know. I'll get one for one song about. That's about it.
Right. That's kind of why we stopped doing it. From one song, he's bringing out a trumpet. But I'm telling you, for that one song, it was
Yeah,
cool.
it killed.
It was awesome, and then then of course he has the oxygen tank, to
Somebody maybe. I'm not giving him mouth to mouth. I'm not doing it, but somebody's got to get him
I
some
love you,
oxygen.
man, but you're gonna die. Oh God! All right.
One of these nights, we're going to have to just all do a gig together because I think that would be a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
We'll do two drummers. And,
Oh my God, this is great.
Well, I don't want to go through my whole history. We could say that for another time. But I went from.
Finish up. I know
yeah.
you did a stint in the Navy. Thank
I
you
did
for
in
your
the Navy. I
service.
played some.
Yeah,
I was in the
absolutely.
service. Played
Yeah,
trumpet in
thank
the
you for your
service.
service.
Yep.
A
Oh,
little
you
bit
did.
of-
You played trumpet.
Yeah,
I was wondering that
yeah,
actually.
I did.
All
I played
right.
trumpet in the service. I
Cool.
actually went through boot camp playing in special units.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Well, that's bugle.
That's actually a
calls, but-
bugle.
but I
That's not a
actually
trumpet,
played
Adam. But
actual-
Englishman does.
you say tomato, I say tomato.
So.
But as for my influences, it's like everybody's. I was exposed to Kiss, but I think the Eagles were like number one for me. They're the ones that really kind of got me into wanting to play guitar, which I hadn't done until I was in my mid-30s,
Yeah.
and I didn't pick up a guitar. I was in mid-30s.
I thought, did everyone here watch that Eagles history
Yep.
on
Yep.
Netflix or
Oh
whatever
my
it
God.
was?
Great. Part one and part two. Right?
Phenomenal.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's long. It's like 5 hours long.
I always knew those
something.
Joe Walsh stories, but boy.
But you know
wouldn't-
what? Like, people don't realize that they were the sound that made Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know
they were
what?
the sound behind Linda. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Linda Ronstadt. Phenomenal vocalist and everything. But
Correct.
if it wasn't for those guys backing her up, you wonder if she would have you know.
And you know what? Shout out to Linda Ronstadt, because when Glenn Fry and Henley wanted to go out on their own, she was extremely supportive, which is way cool. She could have been like, no, you got family. I thought it was very cool.
No, but I'll tell you, that was one of my favorite. You know, you would see those behind the music history things, whatever. The Eagles one was, if you haven't watched it, go out and watch it.
Absolutely.
It's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So.
And just as Captain Harmony, just in almost every freaking song they have, it's pure harmony.
Harmonies. That's
unbelievable, right?
Sick harmonies.
Yes, that was
in my opinion, the best American band ever.
That was harmonies before auto-tune was invented.
Right.
Timothy Beachman, the highs.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, all right, we're up to Jamil.
All right, can I introduce the problem child?
That's a pet name now.
You know, if you go out later and your tires are slashed, you don't know why.
And then none of these guys will give me a ride home. I know.
Now it would be like you're walking past.
Right.
We're all going to take turns slashing your car.
Cool.
Okay, so we are recording right now, and I just want to let you know that when we took a little break, there's been insurrection going on. It's like there is some sort of mutiny going on. John Brue is in a little dinghy hanging off the back of the boat, and they're cutting the line. I don't know what's happening.
Anybody out there knows a good harmonica player? We're looking for a new harmonica player.
All right, so we left off
With Jamil.
Oh man, so influences, I don't know, probably the origin of my love for playing music was my dad. My dad played in a band, The Happenings, back in the 60s, and then I came along. So that was the end of that.
They had a hit.
Yeah. See You in September?
Yeah.
That song, that was it. My dad was with them.
What did he play? What did he play?
He played the drums.
That was a real band. They were good.
I cut my teeth sitting on my dad's lap.
Oh.
And, from, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. And then, went along and, picked it up in high school, playing regularly, high school bands. And one individual who had a big effect on me, a dear friend of mine, Greg Novick, great bass player. He had a profound effect on me musically. For other influences, I don't know. It's kind of always depended upon my mood. I love all music. I could jump from Yes and Rush and Genesis, and then the next minute I'm big band, and the next minute I'm Motown, and then it doesn't matter. Just everything is good in its own way. Everything has its own taste, its own flavor.
Cool.
I mean, you can't eat. I love peanut butter and jelly, but I couldn't eat it every day. But
So were you classically trained in drums, like bossa novas and all that stuff with your dad, or
yeah, they tried. Yeah, they tried like crazy.
But he's a problem child.
Yeah, but I was a problem child. Yeah, back then lessons were different. I got bored with it, honestly. They say regrets and stuff. Not really. But one thing I wish I would have stuck with were my rudiments, and I wish I had stuck with them, because I see guys that stuck with them, and it does make a difference.
It's eye-opening sometimes.
Back then, I was like, I'm going to sit and play on this practice pad, and now I want to play a drum set. Nowadays, they teach kids a groove right away behind the kit. They're able to groove and play an eighth note groove, and it's more engaging, I think, for the kids. I got bored with it, and then I just played from my heart. And just played, and then actually stepped away from the drums, mostly because I had my drum set stolen. And stepped away. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, and taught myself acoustic guitar.
There you go.
I played that for maybe 20, 25 years. And honestly, only in the last, I would say maybe 7 or 8 years, I picked the drums back up. And got back into it, with both feet, and lucky enough to meet a whole bunch of musicians.
I was just going to say, so how did you have the unfortunate circumstance of meeting these dregs of society?
Because I'm a problem child. We know how to find each other.
Truth.
Yeah, we really should change the name of the band to the Problem Children or something like that. Because,
it's funny.
No.
I was just gonna say, it's funny when you were talking about like lessons and everything, and it's like I could totally relate to that because I mean, like, you know, when you talk about influences, it's like, you know, it's probably your teachers that are your biggest influences. So like, I mean, I took lessons with Frankie Chikala. You know, he's a Jersey Shore legend.
Frankie and the Bird, baby, shout out.
No good.
You know, some other guys. This one guy, I actually never really took lessons from him, but he was a brick guy too. Gary Bruno. I don't know if you knew him, but he's like a professional musician out in Las Vegas, has been for decades now. You know, the thing is it was different back then because it was, you know, it's just like, okay, the first thing you're going to learn how to do is read notes and basic chords and, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And most of the guys who were teaching lessons were jazz players, and, you know, they didn't want to, you know, most of them didn't want to teach you how to play, you know, rock and roll stuff or whatever.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, they kind of looked down their nose on that.
Yeah, some guys did. I mean, I had one teacher, and I cannot remember the guy's name for the life of me. I think he was my second guitar teacher, and the first thing that we worked on was Reeling in the Ears.
Wow.
I'm just thinking of that song. I don't know.
Wow. So this was...
He was trying to blow your mind. That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I'd only been playing for like a year and a half.
I'm trying to think, is that
that
Larry Carlton on that song? Or
No. That's Elliot Randall and Jeff Baxter, Skunk Baxter.
Skunk.
Baxter.
Which one? Yeah, I can't remember.
But
which
Elliot
one.
Randall is the one who does the solo.
Yeah.
And that was like the first thing that this guy taught me. You know, and it was like lick by, you know, it was lick by lick, and I was just kind of like, yeah, this is what I wanted to learn.
You know,
I didn't want to learn how to play. You know,
honestly,
you
this
know,
explains a lot. It really does.
You didn't want to learn the girl from Impanema.
You know what? You know, the funny part is that afterwards, later on, like, you know, from playing in the high school jazz band, I ended up winning, like, every year. Point Barrow High School every year had like a jazz band competition, and at the end of the competition, they would award, you know, the most outstanding band, and they would award the most outstanding soloist. But this one year, my junior year, they awarded to like most outstanding player in each section. So I actually won most outstanding rhythm section musician my junior year.
So I was second place, by the way. He stole it from me. Took it from me.
Yeah, you were at,
Yeah, you know what they say, second place is first loser.
I was going to say you were out back trying to figure out how to get back in.
Exactly.
John Brue is suddenly the 49ers of this conversation.
But then what the prize was, it was like a I forget, it was like $500 towards doing a summer session at Berklee College of Music.
Oh wow!
So which was really cool because it was like there were classes, but there was also a lot of time where you weren't doing anything, where it was like, you know, get together with people with jam, you know, and it was a good education, but it was also a good eye opener too, because, you know, after a couple of years of playing, you know, you start to get a big head and you start to feel like, wow, nobody else plays as well as I do.
And you show up at a place like that and you're like, I'm not even the best guy on my floor.
Exactly. I'm not even the best guy in this wing of my dorm, you know? Right. So it was, you know, that's where it started with the whole, you know, practicing like a maniac and, you know. So.
I mean, these guys will tell you, I'm a big prog guy. I love all the different prog metal, regular prog, yes, you know, Genesis, all that. And
by the way, John has never heard of any of those names, just so you know.
But so many of these guys went to schools like Berklee and what have you, and it's like they would say the same story that you did.
Right.
They'd like have their heads were full, and they'd show up, and they'd be like, holy shit, I'm not like the best bass player.
Right.
Anywhere, let alone here. It's like,
so maybe I'm the best bass player 3 doors from the bathroom. Yes, that's basically
right.
So it's pretty crazy stuff when you know you start seeing some of those people.
Yeah, well, you start thinking you're the best at anything.
Yeah,
you're kind of done. You might as well hang it up because where are you going from there?
Yeah, but when you're 18, you always think you're
when
at the
you're
best.
18, yeah.
Well, see, that's 17-year-old me, and that's what taught me that, like, okay, you were maybe a fairly decent sized fish in a pretty small pond,
right? And the humility comes in.
Yeah, and that's when you start to realize, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your mouth shut, and listen, and
this is all awesome stuff, man, isn't it?
But you know what, though, as a true testament to Brue Crew, it's clearly a sum of the parts. As it is with Aloha Monkey, I mean, we're phenomenal musicians, everyone, but even when you put phenomenal musicians together, it doesn't mean you're going to have a great product.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's just the blend of Brue Crew. It's everything. It's personality. It's.
But I'd like to stay for the record. I never had that problem, by the way. With the big
Nor do you continue to have that problem.
But 40 years later, it's still the same, bro.
See, but management is good with him. He knows how to surround himself with the best people.
I was just going to say, this is the guy who knows how to put it all together.
That's right.
Well, I think that's very well said in all seriousness.
I can honestly say, I mean, I've jammed with all you guys.
Yep.
Right.
And it's like every time John Brue brings someone else, I'm like, okay, this is someone I want to jam with.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep.
Because you know how you find talent, people want to work with you, and I think that's because of your work ethic.
Right.
I think that's because you love what you're doing. I think we all love what we're doing. We wouldn't do it if we didn't.
Sure.
But and it just always, to me, it just comes back to that 3-letter word. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yep. There you go.
Well,
If it's not fun, you're not
Fun is
doing
fun to
it.
have.
The Brue Crew also reunites people because we went to see you at Maggie's, and you had a phenomenal guitarist there called Josh.
Shout out to Josh Warner.
It's Josh Warner.
My lefty gunslinger. Hey, Josh.
Yeah. And I'd known Josh for 20 years. I haven't seen him.
That was unbelievable, by the way. That was
I walked in the
unbelievable.
door, and I'm behind you, and I'm like, I'm just ready to say hi to you, and all of a sudden I hear, holy
20 years.
20
You haven't
years.
seen him in 20 years, right?
He was
It's
Josh
unbelievable.
Warner's first guitar teacher.
Yeah.
He told
I
Josh
taught
told
him
me
how
you
to
told
play
him
Stray Cat Strut.
right.
Incorrectly.
Which I think we did that night incorrectly.
Adam wasn't there. Like, Adam, where's the bridge? Where's the bridge?
It was the English version.
Right.
You bastards. I love it.
In all fairness, just so you know where Adam's coming from, his father passed on the Beatles back in the day. All right?
Lord, that's a story.
The
I need to
Beatles
hear.
were brought to
Okay,
his
you
father,
gotta
and he
go
said
listen to podcast one.
I'm gonna listen to podcast.
the Beatles were brought to his father, and his father said, "These lads have no future."
Right.
And I begged my dad not to repeat that story.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But you repeated it, so.
By the way, for the listening public out there, if you do want to go to episode 1, you will hear Aloha Monkey interviewing ourselves, and you'll hear the whole thing.
I will get to listen to that for sure.
We don't have enough time to repeat that.
Right, my lord.
But that's actually a good segue, though, in a roundabout way of talking about how Brue Crew got started.
My influences early on, 5th grade, was Johnny Cash. My dad was a big country guy, and then I think I said it earlier, when Kiss came along, I swung over to the drums. I'm a huge Peter Criss fan, and really, but for me, it's really 2 words: Bruce Springsteen. He was my guy.
Yeah.
He was my guy.
Really?
I was on the drums playing a band called Suspicious Minds in college, and then shortly after, I saw this video of him out in Arizona. It's like in black and white. I'm going way back, and I've always tried to exude the love and the joy that this guy. I mean, you watch Bruce, and I know some people, he's not the best guitar player in the world. Me, not the best vocalist. I connected with his lyrics like crazy.
And you'd be hard-pressed to find a person who puts on a better show.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's like a revival, man. It's like a revival.
It's like a religious experience.
Absolutely. So I've seen it maybe 20, 25 times, and just huge Bruce fan. And that's really what, the first time I was like, I want to be a front man.
And he
was the
digs
guy
into
where I
his
wanted to be a
roots,
front man.
too, in live shows all the time.
Absolutely.
He's always playing stuff from the 50s and early 60s.
60s, yeah.
So it's when I got back I graduated Stockton in '85, went down to Florida for a few years, just kind of noodling on the guitar, and then when I came
What'd
back,
you go to Florida for?
I took a job. My parents had moved to Sarasota and left me in Jersey.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. I think they were trying to
To your
send
own
me,
devices?
send me some
We're
kind of
going to
thing.
Florida.
Right, exactly, John. We'll see you later.
And I shot down to Siesta Key, met my best friend Sean, who, get a quick shout out to Sean. He died on 9/11, a fireman, American hero. My son is named after him. So, Sean, think about you all the time and love you.
Wow, you met him at Siesta Key?
Siesta Key, Florida.
It's my favorite beach in the world.
Oh, my, it's beautiful.
I think it's one of the most
white
beautiful, isn't it?
sands.
It is
the white sands.
unbelievable.
Like Sean and I, not to get off topic, but I met him in a bar, and there was a gal there, and I was getting a vodka club. I still remember the drink. And would you like something? And I bought her a drink. This tall, good-looking dude comes out and says, "You got a problem?" In that Staten Island accent. I'm going, oh boy, he was a tall dude, and but we quickly became like brothers and best friends. But came back
That's
to Florida, and my brother's an accomplished piano player. Played, I don't know if you guys know a country band called After the Rain. Shout out to Willie Kelly. Hey, Willie, great singer. And if you're into country music, they're one of the best in the state of New Jersey. Wow. So my brother played piano with them for a while. Then I brought him on, and we were kind of doing a little acoustic guitar piano duo. My late brother Kevin, shout out to Kev, and we're going to do a song, if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely.
That we wrote about my brother. And I think his birthday was October. I sent him over to Adam. We basically bought him a bass guitar and said, you have to learn this because the piano and the guitar are nice, but we need some bass.
Adam made another bass player.
So he was taking lessons from Adam. And the great thing about Kev was, you guys are familiar with tablature?
Yeah, sure.
And so Adam's, tabbing out margarita, simple stuff.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him in very quickly. I mean, we were not. The Brue Brothers was the name of the band. Take off on Jake and Elwood. And 3 years, I'm going to say we had a nice little run, but average. We were an average band, to put it kindly. We were not great. But Kev would, because of tablature, you don't really have a sense of theory.
No.
So it's numbers, not to bore
numbers
the
and
listeners
places,
out there,
yeah.
but numbers and places. So I will never forget my beautiful brother. He would get this grin on his face because you don't realize how important bass is until it stops. And when he got lost, he would just stop. So we're doing Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. And all of a sudden I'm singing a verse and
The bottom's gone.
okay. And then we get to Wasted. And then Kevin had this beautiful little smile. I look over and I'm back, and he'd come right back in. And, it was. But those, I would not trade those couple of years forever. So I actually was, bro. You're better with this than I am. I started taking lessons from Adam as well.
Yeah, you started taking lessons from me probably like 93.
Oh,
I
okay.
wanna
So
say.
That's where the
genesis
connection
of
with
the
the two
Brue
of
Crew
us.
came
Yeah,
along.
he
Correct.
started taking. I
right.
was working.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I was working in a music store for Silverton Music, which is no longer there in
Great
Tom's River.
guy. Shout out to
Silverton
the late
Music,
great Bobby. Was
No,
it- oh no.
Silverton Music. Wrong
Okay.
place. Yeah, that was I forget.
But
his
I
name.
started with you there in Brick.
Yeah, you started with me in Brick though. So then
Great
from
guy.
there I was to Music City in Brick, which was what is that? Brick Boulevard and some. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so John started taking lessons with me, and very quickly realized that all he wanted me to do was to just like tab out songs for him,
Right.
record out songs for him.
I was
They didn't
playing
have
lead
YouTube
guitar.
at the time. There was
Right,
no YouTube.
And Bobby, I'm playing lead. I don't know if you've seen me
all
play
right,
lead, but it's
hold
not
on.
pretty. It's not
Okay,
pretty.
so Adam has taught students. Mm-hmm. Anyone else here?
What? Anybody teach?
Anyone teach?
No.
All right, Adam's the only teacher in real life, also.
Right.
Real life.
But YouTube, it's just not fair, okay?
Oh, yeah.
These kids these days don't know the pain of
Sure.
learning a song by putting a needle on a record, listening for 10 seconds, and then picking it up and trying to mimic it.
And then playing it
Yeah,
over
yeah,
and over
yeah,
again. By the way.
Well,
They
it was
don't
so-
know that pain.
No, for me it was always cassettes.
Well,
I
yeah,
love
cassettes.
cassettes.
Right.
Yes.
I think
My mother
cassettes
would
were actually
go crazy.
worse. Cassettes were actually worse than the
Yes.
albums. Albums you would get the hang of. Like,
At least you had a
I
counter
swear
on
to
the
God.
cassette thing. You can
I
put the
could
counter on, you go back
no,
to zero.
No,
and then-
I could put the needle down like in the millisecond that it needed to go down every single time.
Right.
Maybe you just
Yeah.
got so used to it.
Boy, we're dating ourselves,
When
boys.
you wreck
Yeah, I know.
You wrecked the
we're a
record,
bunch of old
so-
bastards.
What's
here,
a
so-
record?
Right.
Oh, Jamil. He's a problem child.
Well,
I told you, bro. I warned you.
When my kids were born, my mom showed them like my old records when I was a little kid, and my son comes up and goes, "Dad, look at the size of this CD."
That's awesome.
That was 95. So look at the side of the CD.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
but see, vinyl's back again now.
Yeah.
Vinyl's hip again. So.
Vinyl has more sales than physical CDs.
Yeah,
Actually,
nobody
I'm going to
wants
wear some vinyl pants on the next gig.
awesome.
Those Princes.
Can't unsee that.
No,
So yeah, I
some
can't
things
see
you
it
cannot
either.
unsee.
Remind me to wear my sunglasses on
I'm
the
going to
gig.
pass sitting at Jamil's throne again.
Just
All
bring
right.
a towel to sit on.
You get back to the Adam.
Adam, absolutely. Well, I call him Alex
Alex.
sometimes.
Yeah, earlier today you had no idea what my name was.
I told you.
Not me, John.
Yeah.
I want to say one more time, guys. It's Super Bowl Monday. Adam and I was taking a listen to Matt. I was doing the Bruise Brothers with my brothers. We had talked about, and just a quick little thing on that because I wanted to hit on this because I don't know if you guys have ever been through anything like this, but when we started with my brother Brian on piano and then brought Kevin on bass, I'm going, this is going to be the best band ever. Why? Because we're brothers. We're brothers, right?
No brothers ever did a band before.
Worst freaking
Like
idea
Van
ever.
Halen.
Brian, be here.
They always
Man, Kevin's in heaven listening to me, but it was horrible because you know what, brothers, they'll say whatever the they want.
Yeah.
I mean, we just we had some classic blowouts, and I just always look back at that like, what was I? I thought that was going to be wonderful, and it went maybe 3 years, and I was like, okay, this is not working. I did the Johnny Bruce solo experience for about 3 years. Christopher's Pub was my my mainstay, taking lessons from Adam, and then I don't know, one day we just got talking.
Yeah, well, you were taking lessons from me, and then one day, I think I threw it out at you because because the guys that I was playing with at the time was a 90s. This was in the 90s, so it was a
Grungy.
it was a grunge cover band called whatever it was called. I don't even remember. And
I really want to know. Do you know? Because
it was actually called Joe Friday. Was the name of the band.
Friday?
Joe
Yeah,
Friday.
Joe Friday was the name of the band, and it just it was good for a while, and then we just started losing places, and things just like all bands do.
Nobody to book the band.
Nobody booked the band.
Nobody to book
and
the
then
band.
the bookings started drying up and everything, and I was looking to work. So, I had said to him, because I knew he was doing a solo thing, because all of a sudden we went from, what are the chords to Hotel California to, can you teach me the lead to Hotel California?
Yeah, right.
In
Oh,
F,
Joe Walsh.
by the way.
right.
Which is in case for all you musicians, is down what, like 4 steps or something like that.
Steps. But the funny thing about that? That song was written in E minor. We do it in E minor. I think the Eagles played in B minor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
B minor.
But Felder wrote it in E minor, but I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. So, I think I just ended up saying to you something like, if you're ever thinking about doing a duo or you want to, whatever, I'd be up for, playing some gigs or what have you. And this is, like I said, this is back in 1998. And so I think the first one I sat in with John was Duffy's Brass Rail. Down in what is that, Forked River?
Yeah, something
It was
like
that was that place.
Wow.
And from there, it just kind of took off. I wish I still had it, but instead, like, this is the pre-internet days, right? So John would print up like these monthly schedules with all our gigs on it on like freaking iridescent pink paper. So
right.
yeah,
He was always a master of marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for saying that, bro.
Paper folder.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
you get a little tape and then you send it out.
Send it. Oh my God,
Exactly.
the mail.
Mailing
I had
list,
that
yeah.
mailing
Exactly.
machine where
I'm
what's that
sending out
stamp
stuff
machine?
on white paper. John Bruce sending it out on
iridescent
iridescent pink
pink
paper.
Yeah.
I think the Mangoes used postcards. They had postcards.
I started doing that for quite a while too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so and we were playing places like Christopher's, Woody's,
Christopher's Pub, Tom's over.
Mulligan's back in the day.
Mulligan's
Farming
back in our
Roads.
day.
Well,
back in the
Mulligan's
day.
is still there. and they just
started
moved
doing
locations.
music. They just started doing
What's that
music
place?
again.
What's that?
And,
No.
Clark's Landing.
Mulligan's is
Clark's
in
Landing.
Concord.
was a mainstay back in the day.
Yep.
What's that
Good memory,
place
bro.
right over the bridge in Manasquan? right under the bridge in
Harpoon
Manasquan.
O'Neill's or
No. Like under the bridge in Manasquan.
Next to the ship where the ship wheel used to be.
Shipwreck. The
Shipwreck.
Inn.
Yeah, the
Good memory,
shipwreck.
bro.
The shipwreck.
Red
Inn.
Lion.
Red Lion.
Actually, there's trivia. We actually were the last band to play the Red Line.
Really?
Before
Yeah.
the show, they were the last band.
They were the last band, and then they said, "No, we're tearing this place down."
Exactly right.
Funny story about this.
burned
real
that
quick.
place down.
We're playing there, right? So Sonny Pruitt.
No, Joe.
Joe, not Sonny. Yeah. Joe Pruitt shows up.
No, Sonny Pruitt is his brother.
So Joe shows up, right? And of course, Joe's he's going to play. Come on and play. So he comes up and jams, and we're jamming, and he's hammered. I mean, that's Joe, right? At the end of we're playing the song, and he's oh yeah, this is going to have beep 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 with it.
Yeah, no last names, please.
At the end of it, we finished playing. Everyone's cheering because this is the closing gig at the Red Lion. And he turns to me and he looks right in the face. He goes, "Yo, man, I gotta tell you something, man. I just love playing with fat drummers."
I'm like, what? Be like, hey, I just lost 20 pounds, man. What the hell? Come on.
Don't hold that against
Never
me.
forget that.
Well,
Joe
Chad
Pruitt,
Chipwreck
Red
is
Lion,
drummer.
closing
That's a
gig.
great story.
It's a glandular problem.
Well done.
Sorry, Jamil, you're out of that one. You're out.
You need to bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, you need to bulk
another
up,
beer.
Jamil.
So anyway, there were all these places. We played some places down in regularly. Some places down in LBI, like the Owl Tree,
Tucker's.
Those
Yep.
Tucker's is
places
still there.
Yeah.
Tucker's still there,
So
yeah.
we did all these places and everything, and we
Forked
kind of
River House.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. We kind of did these places for a couple of years, and then I actually kind of retired from playing gigs for about 10 years. So I kind of bowed out. Life, family, school, this, that, the other
Stuff,
thing.
yep.
So I kind of bowed out, and then Johnny continued
It's
with
actually
other people.
It's actually the fair thing to do. You don't want to do it half-hearted, you know?
Yeah, no,
Right.
and there was no way. There was just no way. I mean,
yeah.
you know, like when you're going through life crap, divorce,
no.
this, that, the other
Absolutely,
thing. How are you gonna say like, okay, I want to have my kids every other weekend when you're playing?
When I'm not gigging, yeah.
Right, when I'm playing gigs.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No.
So
Yeah, it doesn't.
Adam
smart thing.
took a break, and I'm again with Bruce Springsteen. Shout out to Clarence Clemens, a huge sax guy. Say, you know what? How many people? I'm always trying to market, be different. We play eclectic material. We don't do a lot of brown eyed girl, that kind of stuff. I got really into saxophone. You don't see sax really except at weddings or bigger venues.
Yep.
So I started with a guy named Willie Finelli. Shout out to Willie. Steve Meyer. If I could tell you a quick story about Stevie, this is a great story. Stevie comes on, great sax player, but he's not a huge Clarence fan. And I'm a huge Bruce guy, so we got a problem immediately. I'm like, dude, we gotta play. What do you gotta do? You gotta do 5, right? Rosalita, Thunder Road, Born to Run. What am I missing? 10th Avenue Freeze Out. Gotta play it. So he's with me maybe a year and a half, and I've always been. I try to be a very fair boss, if that's the word. He calls me up, dude. I got an opportunity to go tour the country. The first gig will be at the Democratic National Convention in Boulder, Colorado.
Wow.
Something I'm like, dude.
Go.
Why? Correct. Why you
Go
gonna
do
ask?
it.
Don't even ask me.
Go.
I said, I'm so excited for you. Now, again, to preface the story, not a Bruce guy. I had to twist his arm to get him to play Bruce songs. I said, what's the name of the band? The B Street Band. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's great, and he's still with them. And they're a great band. Shout out to the B Street Band.
Nice.
Great Bruce cover band.
Yeah.
So then I brought on Curtis Rivers, who, shout out to Kurt if he ever gets to listen to this. And I got tired of the Brue Crew. I just had like, you know what? I mean, the Bruce Brothers, Brue Crew. Come up with a different name, something unique. So we're practicing. He comes in one night and he goes, I got it. And it's the best name, in my opinion, I've ever had. Better than a Brue Crew, Bruce Brothers. Best name we've ever had. Comes into practice, goes, I don't know if you'll like it. Your name's second. I said, I don't have an ego or a big ego. Hit me. What do you got? Adam's choking over there. back to the story about Adam, who asked. I like that story, but you asked me to come on. I forgot about that. But Kurt, I go, hit me. What do you got? I got to pause here because I love this. Black and Brue. Great name for a band, Black and Brue. So we were Black and Brue for about 3 years and playing saxophone. I mentioned Willie, right? I want to give shout outs to whoever. And then I am at the Boardwalk about 10 years since Adam had left, who I always missed. The guy's like a brother to me. And I'm at the Boardwalk Bar and Grill. And this guy's in front of me. You guys are musicians. Sometimes you just know when somebody's sitting in front of you and
they know what's going on.
He's a musician. This guy's
You
a
just
musician.
know that he's like some kind of an a-hole musician sitting there.
Big hair.
Right. They're looking at you, sizing you up.
believe he played a B flat instead of a B flat minor 7.
Yeah,
It's like the old. How many guitar players does it take to change a light bulb?
And you know what's great about what you just mentioned with the big hair? I'm glad you said that because when I played with Adam way back in the day, Adam had hair down, not maybe to the ass, but close to the ass.
Yeah, it was long.
Beautiful blonde locks, long hair.
Blonde? I've only known him as a gray.
blonde.
We're going to because I'm sure right now we're going to be moving right now to a picture of Adam from 25 years ago.
If I can find it, I got to find
It's on YouTube. If you're listening on
it.
Spotify, go to YouTube right now. It's on there right now.
So here's this guy sitting in front of me, and now he's gray hair, glasses, and I do a set, and I'm playing with Ken Kama, who I bring me back because I ramble, but I have to give a quick shout out to Ken Kama, who played bass for me for 12 years and is my beautiful wife's uncle. So,
And Willie was on sax.
And Willie was on sax. Willie Finelli's a great sax player. But shout out to Kenny because if I hadn't played with Kenny for all those years, I never would have met my beautiful wife. So that was a wonderful connection. So this guy with the gray hair and glasses, short gray hair and glasses, comes up to me and goes, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I'm a voice guy. Keep talking. I'm like a voice. That's what I do. Like voice. Give me a. And I got him, but I don't. And he goes, "Dude, it's Adam." I lift him up. You're playing the next set. I don't ask, I tell. That's what I do. So I played tambourine for like a set. He played guitar.
Which, by the way, is interesting because, I mean, I'm not a short guy, but I'm about 6. John is you're about like 6'3" or something. And he wears his guitar low. So I'm playing his telly.
Down at your knees?
It's like down at my knees. It's like Jimmy Page here. I'm like,
Right.
That's a good look, though.
He must have looked cool, right?
And what's
Sprain your wrist, but it's fine.
Is Regenesis a word? Or Kenny and I were Kenny was joining a doo-wop band. We were kind of getting near the end of part. It's ironic because at the time we were working too much, which is funny for me to say. Because now I call us the hardest working band on the Jersey Shore, and we might be. I mean, we work. But at the time I was getting burnt out, and Kenny was in a different spot. The money's great. We're doing great. We're crazy. So we kind of were parting. And I said, what do you think about taking another pass at this? And he was in. And
he was ready.
So
the time was right.
We go play a block party, and you guys are all musicians know that it was just. It just connected immediately. It was like we never parted. Riding a bike, whatever the terms are.
The Jello shots might have had something.
Well, let me tell you a story. I do Wonderful Tonight. People know that I and I don't apologize. He knows where I'm going. Yeah. I don't apologize ever for dropping keys. Some purist. Oh, I can't believe you dropped the key. I like Wonderful Tonight in E. Album key is G. So we are knocking down. We're at a block party. It's our first time together. We haven't played together in 10 years. And did we practice, bro? Maybe
we had one practice. We had a couple of practices. The first thing that we did was Reach for the Gold.
Okay.
The first thing that we did was the Reach for the Gold, which is Point Pleasant Rotary. Every year they do this thing.
Shout out to the Rotary,
right?
Great organization.
Yeah. So that was the first one, and that was me, you, and Willie.
Right.
And then we actually did start practicing. We were actually pretty like religious about it for a while in the early days.
Right.
I'd get over at his house I'd finish school. I'd go over at his house like 3:00 and like 9:00 at night. His wife Jen is like, "Can you
It's
stop?
final.
And
Can you stop?"
And poor Adam wanted to go like 2 hours ago. I'm like, no,
Can
we gotta get one more song, bro. We got one more song to
Oh,
run, and then one
gosh,
more,
yes.
right? And how many times did that happen? Dude, I gotta go. One more. Let's get
Every
this
time.
one other song in. But the connection was amazing to me, and we that's why I think it shows on stage and everything. But yeah, back to the Jello shot story. So it's the end of the night of this block party. It's our last song. Everybody's slow dancing. Great crowd, huge crowd, block party, and they're all slow dancing. But we had a few too many Jello shots, so I'm singing and playing "Wonderful Tonight" in E, and he's doing the riff in G, and I'm going, something's not right, but I can't place it because Debbie Fortier, Debbie, if you listen to this, it was their block party, great people.
I think I heard Lowrider one time like that.
Right. Yeah,
There were four of us playing in four different keys.
Right.
Yeah.
And really, that was how many years ago?
All right, so this is back like around 2008.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so we've been kind of
back at it ever since.
Back at it ever since.
Right, so let me get this straight. So originally, it's more or less because he wanted you to teach him the lead to Hotel California, and you saw that as your in. You're
Yes.
like, I can either teach him or I can play
Or
for
I can
him.
just do it myself.
There was so much better.
You know how long it's going to take me to teach you that?
You know what?
Oh my God!
You know what? Jamil is like, he's like a distillery. He just like,
In what way do you mean?
he's like,
it's so many different ways.
he takes his big mash of crap boiling down to this little
The essence.
essence
The essence.
that we all love.
The angel's breath.
And I'm a storyteller. I don't want to bore you guys, but if I could give out a shout out, can we give out a shout out to Raj?
Of course.
One more shot.
So one more shout out.
That's it.
Roger Wolford, who was playing
If
in
you
a band
do another
called,
one, we got to charge you.
Right. He's playing in a band called Yellow Number 5 Y5. Great drummer. He starts playing with us, and he's looking to really work. And
Just to put the brakes on that story just for a second though is that we had been doing a duo, for a while at this point. So from those early beginnings, practicing every week, going out and doing these, these unpaid auditions.
Oh my God, a million of them.
Every place, we could kind of think of, and, sometimes they were met with, usually they were met with confusion because
why are you doing this?
Why do you want to come play on a night we don't have music? Well, because first of all, we don't have a CD. This is back in the CD days, kids. And we don't have, YouTube didn't exist or anything like that. And, we don't have a CD. And even if we gave you a CD, you're never going to listen to it anyway.
And we're willing to give up an hour of our time
exactly
to show you what we can do.
Right, exactly.
Which is a much better idea.
It's actually a smart marketing
A lot of
move.
people cut these CDs and they go out and play live, and
And they
sound
throw 'em in the
nothing
garbage
like
can.
the
Right, I know.
CD. They don't even send the guy
John,
books like they don't.
John, they don't have CDs anymore.
Yeah.
They don't?
No.
I still have
There are
CDs.
no such thing as
Yes,
CDs
them and
anymore.
8-tracks.
All right, so let's before Raj, I know where you're going.
But before
Please,
that, we start.
Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney comes along.
John, have the microphone. I think it was Cleese.
We got to move all the balls out of the way. Hold on.
Say, John, say something for the rest of us, man. Come on.
He's right. It's right around St. Patrick's Day at Cleese. It was that time.
You guys weren't drinking, were you?
We're not drinking any less, that's for sure.
I only drink on St. Patrick's Day. I'm Irish.
And then every other day that ends in Y.
Right.
I had dropped him in on him on Runway 34 one time with. Actually, I brought
That's
a couple
right,
of women with me.
yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Remember that?
I just to cut you off, I hadn't seen John since high school.
This has been the first time we met up again.
So that's what, 20 years later,
Yeah.
something. He comes in with these two babes on his arms. It's like you would have thought he got out of a limousine. I'm like, what? What's Haney doing these days? He's doing all right for himself.
And so I kind of chatted him. I kind of told him what I was up to and stuff like that. And I said, hey, next
He's a
time
pimp.
we meet out, I'm gonna. I've been kind of like jamming on a harmonica lately, and I said I'd love to come out and sit in. So I did at Cleese, and then the next big one was at what's that place?
I think the first one was actually Idle Hour. I think the first one may have been at Idle Hour, because all I remember is I remember meeting you at Runway 34, but I don't think you played.
No, I didn't.
But I think the next time was at Idle Hour, And I just remember being over there, you know, to the you know, always to John's, what was that, your left hand? Right hand. Right. To your right or whatever, and you set up your stuff, and I'm just kind of like, holy it's John Popper. You know?
Right. 18.
I mean, seriously, I never heard anybody like in person like play the harmonica like that.
Right.
I was just kind of like
stunned.
Seriously,
right.
yeah, totally.
I mean, he's that. You've seen him. Right?
You do need a little. You need a little more distortion. Popper uses that like the. He sounds like Hendrix.
No.
He sounds like Hendrix sometimes.
You know, that's why John Haney's his.
John Haney's John Haney.
John Haney's John Haney because he's got that Stevie Wonder clear tone.
Welcome back to Aloha Monkey Shorecast Podcast. Tonight we're interviewing the Brue Crew, and we had a little bit of technical difficulty, and it has gone off the rails. It's like herding cats, and they're not doing very well.
Slurring has increased because
I think really
A brew have monkey toes. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
I like that. That may be better than you.
This is a very difficult song for us to sing, and we've been having such a great time with Aloha Monkey. I can't thank you guys for having us. But we're not allowed to play any cover materials.
Aloha!
So I lost my baby brother, I think it's been 8 years ago, to melanoma. Everybody be careful in the sun and get your skin checked out because he had a mole and he was stage 4 and he was gone in 6 months. And we sat down, Adam, John, and I, the night before I buried him. We buried him. And we wrote this song. So, Kev, I love you, and this is for you. Born in early October with those big blue eyes. Another child in our family. Hey, what a great surprise. Our granny couldn't believe it. She said, another boy? Mom and Dad sure loved him. Kev was their pride and joy. You will always be. You will always be. In every song I play, you will always be. You will always be. Behind every word I say, you will always be. You will always be. Running that extra mile, you will always be. You will always be. In your children's smiles, you will always be. He went away to college and met his bride-to-be. My little baby brother is now a father of 3. An unselfish husband, what a wonderful son too. Kev, you may have looked up to me, man, I was looking up to you. You will always be. You will always be. In every song I play, you will always be. You will always be. Behind every word I say, you will always be. You will always be. Running that extra mile, you will always be. You will always be. In your children's smiles, you will always be. Rain started falling on that hot summer day. The Lord came a-calling. Too soon you went away. Hey, 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 hey. As we gather together, it's our glasses we raise. Forever in our hearts you'll be one of the 5Ks. Hey, as I set sail out on the Haley Marine, I will always look up to the stars and know you're right here with me. You will always be. You will always be. In every song I play, you will always be. You will always be. Behind every word I say, you will always be. You will always be. Our final cheer, you will always be. You will always be. In our hearts so dear, you will always be. How is it you handle so much pain with grace? You must have known we'd be together again in our Father's place. Hey, 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 hey. You'll always be. You will always be. You will always be. In every song I play, you will always be. You will always be. Behind every word I say, you will always be. You will always be. Our final cheer, you will always be. You will always be. In our hearts so dear, you will always be. That's for my beautiful baby brother. I miss you, Kev.
That's John Brue and the Brue Crew, everybody. Amazing.
How do you get through that song?
Never gets easier to sing that song.
How do you even get through that song, bro?
Crevassier.
Or
Fireball.
Fireball.
Wow.
Okay, so where we left
we
off
started-
was John was telling us about where he got in.
Yeah. Right. Mr. John Haney, everybody.
John, I never heard of it.
Yes.
Round of applause.
Yeah, so we were doing several gigs together, and finally I did a double with you and Adam.
Wait a second. We didn't move the bottles out.
John Haney, you want some more
Three bottles of booze out there. There you go. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I'm trying to make it a segue.
Or Sedgway.
Sedgway.
This is gonna be a bitch, Dad.
Yeah. No, I'm
Come on, we're running out of tape. We're running out of tape.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to do that. You're running out of tape. No, we're not.
We're all professionals here.
Katie, you got to go. I'll make it so you can edit it. If you
All
can,
right.
quiet.
Okay.
Just say quiet, quiet.
The first half of this podcast was awesome. The second half,
Not so much.
something's changed. Bob. What's changed? Something, maybe a little alcohol. I'm not quite sure. All right, John,
Go ahead,
continue.
John.
We're at Mulligan's. Now, if I can cut you off for 1 second, he played the first gig with us, and then we said, listen, we're playing over at Mulligan's. Do you want to come play at Mulligan's? At the time,
I don't remember the pay where we
weren't. No,
he wasn't really getting paid.
We were out
He was
There'll be
jamming
no
with
pay
us.
tonight.
Like
So,
$9
right, you would not be
$9
getting
a
paid
night.
tonight, but we love you, and would you jam with us?
Yeah.
It's like kind of tonight.
So I
Yeah.
kind of get there early, and I'm starved. I haven't had anything to eat all night, and so I ordered chicken fingers. I ordered chicken fingers, and I'm setting up, and while I'm editing, whatever, I'm setting up, and these guys are sitting at the table eating my chicken wings that I ordered.
You're not getting paid. And
I'm not
you're
getting paid.
Correct.
And they're-
Correct. That's how the Brue Crew
They're
rolls.
eating
Come
my
play
food.
for free,
Right.
do a double with us,
And we're eating your food.
We're going to eat your food. And we might have a bar tab that you might have to pay.
I got to contribute to. Right.
John-
So the night went really well. I think it went
Oh my God! It was
very awesome.
It was the beginning of you coming on with us,
right,
no doubt.
And
no
then,
doubt.
and it was an awesome night. And so at the end of the night, we're all settling things and whatever. And they put their arms around me, and it was kind of a moment. But they said.
It was
It was not a sexual. It was a Brue moment.
It was a Brue moment.
Broman.
But
And then at that moment, you were like, how much do I owe? All of you. I'm out.
but
And that was the beginning of John coming on with us, no doubt.
That was the
roll, bro.
Yeah, that was the
No doubt.
beginning of me actually joining in it. 2008, I would say 2007, 2008.
And I think I use the word boss, and which I hate that word. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not. But
Why, you use it a lot
I do,
tonight,
yeah.
actually.
bleep. I remember distinctly, and I have a horrible memory of like he came out. He did the first gig with us. You had a second gig with somebody else.
I did.
And you didn't
I
go.
didn't
And
go.
he came to the second gig with
us.
us. And we're eating. Adam, do you remember this? We're drinking beer and eating his chicken fingers, and I'm going.
While I'm setting up.
This is not right.
Yes.
This is not right. We either gotta like make a move and bring Johnny on, or
cut him loose.
We had to
cut
pay
him-
him
cut
for
him
his
loose.
chicken fingers.
Seriously. No, that never actually came into the conversation.
Correct.
Never discussed actually paying for his chicken fingers.
And Adam, would you agree that those were the best chicken fingers we ever
They
had?
were fabulous. They were awesome.
just like
They were
that.
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
those were good chicken fingers.
I was the new guy for how many years?
A long time.
Years.
He was.
Now Jamil's the new guy.
Jamil's a new guy, not you don't give him the bar tab, he creates the bar tab.
Oh, yes, he does.
That's an understatement.
But we should talk about all the people that jam with us
Absolutely.
in between.
Well, first, I would like to say
Yeah.
to John, the talent is unbelievable. Like, I've never met a harmonica
off the
player like him,
charts.
but he is a hoe. Could anyone know he's a hoe? He's a hoe because he has played with. He knows every musician.
I
thought
played with
I
a
knew.
lot
He
of
prefers
musicians, a lot of-
slut.
yeah.
Do we have to edit slut out, or is that
Is that the proper term?
Yes.
I thought I knew a lot of. I've been doing this a long time, and I thought I knew a lot of
Actually, I think
musicians.
it's mu-
John Haney knows everybody on the Jersey Shore,
Well,
and has jammed with them, which is a
I
testament
don't
to
want to
you.
take total credit, but
Take the
we
credit,
met,
bro.
We
Take the
met
credit.
because through the people I know.
Yeah.
Right?
We all
Right?
met
You think so?
because you.
Right?
Right. I'm with you.
I think
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
took,
absolutely.
You took in a 25-year relationship.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Right. We're not babies anymore, and we've known each other way back with them.
But you know what, John?
I'm 25.
But to me,
your
that's
head.
what's cool about what's going on here at the Jersey Shore. It's like we've all been around.
Sure.
We played in different bands.
Well,
we played
Scott, are you calling me old?
maybe
Yeah,
a little.
Ah,
It's
right.
like
Right.
I jam with you. I jam with
Fraternity,
you.
bro. It's the best
a
word.
fraternity.
And I don't know if you guys, I would never ever beat them, but I have met musicians where it's a competition, and I mean, for me, it was always
I
a
just
fraternity.
never got that.
Like I love you guys. I mean, how can we help each other? Yeah. Like Joanne. Can I mention Joanne Mooney? Should I mention our number one fan? We'll give her a shout out.
She's our number one.
She loves you guys.
No, she can't be your number one fan.
Okay. Okay.
Wait a minute here.
We're gonna have her fat wife as our number one.
Right. Am I right? But Joanne and
One egg.
she would be like, "Do you mind me?" I'm like, "Are you crazy? We didn't come see the Brue Crew every night we play. And these guys are great. Go see them. You know what I mean? It's like,
Now, privately, John does not say those things. He said, "What the hell?"
yeah, what the hell, man?
WTF?
Third set, everybody left to go see Aloha Monkey. I mean, what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on?
But we appreciate whoever comes to see
Absolutely.
us. It's only because of the relationship with you.
Correct. Boys, before we wind it up, are you winding it up? We have to give a shout out to our brother Bobby Lane. Bobby, can we say something about Bobby?
He died.
We love him. No, tell him.
No, he didn't die.
Can I tell a quick story about Bobby?
Go ahead. Quick story.
Bobby.
I'll keep it quick.
You're awesome.
Keep it at we're at the Captain's Inn, and Bob, I don't know him at the time. He's playing with Brother Pete, and shout out to Brother Pete. Love you, Pete. Guy comes up to me and says, "Can I sing with you guys?" I'm like, you guys are probably saying we're always cool with that. What do you want to sing? Well, I don't want to sing lead. I want to sing harmony. And we thank you for your 3-part harmony on my brother's song, dude. I can't. I love 3-part harmony. So I'm like, and literally, the hairs on my arms stood up. You remember the song, bro? Southern Cross.
Oh, who knows what it was?
Oh, you guys played Southern Cross?
I think it might have been Southern Cross. I think it might have been Southern Cross.
Nice.
And so I'm like, oh my God, and Bobby can sing.
Well,
so
I don't
Now-
think I've ever heard him sing.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I've heard him,
no.
I've
over
heard
it.
him play guitar.
Up at Jenks, I heard
Yeah.
the three of you. Yeah, no, John wasn't with them in the summertime when I heard him.
Really?
Yeah.
Sings well. Wow.
Yeah, no, he's a really good. He's a
That's
really
not
good.
fair.
He's a really good harmony dude.
So, and the greatest thing I can say about Bob is, I'm sorry to cut you off, which I always do, is I already have one of the greatest guitar players on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
And Bob's a guitar player, and he's a great guitar player. So
Great bass player.
So
Yeah,
well,
he's
not,
slumming
but
when
not
he
at the
goes to play
time, dude.
bass.
Let me finish the story. And at the time, I didn't even know he even picked up a bass. So we were talking tonight, like how we actually tried 3 guitars for a bit. But
No.
I did see
it didn't
Better
work.
off
him on
It didn't
bass.
work. Too much mid-range, bro. Is that the way
Yeah,
it would work?
yeah,
Too
yeah,
much
it was
mid-range. So I will never forget this. And this is what a great Bob's like, who is a great guitar player, goes, "I'll play bass." I'm like, really? Because like, if I was a great guitar player, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of an egotistical guy. I don't know if I'd swim in a bit.
I listened to that guy.
Right.
Bobby,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
knows,
He gets it.
He knows
Yeah,
where
he
to go.
does. He gets it.
He's a
He
musical guy.
definitely gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say to that is that it comes down to humility once again. Okay? Humility.
Now, what it really comes down to is the fact that right now,
knowing what you're doing.
it's actually 10:30, and we were supposed to be here at 7:00. And Bob just texted me that he'll be here in 5 minutes.
Bob coming over? Tell Bob to come over.
If I can just say, Jamil, you're an Arsenal fan. You know all about humility.
Man, you sons of ass.
All right. You know, it's great. Bobby's a big soccer guy.
Yes, he is, too.
All right, we're wrapping it up.
Thank God.
Bobby Coon, you're on.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Another Shorecast podcast in the can. And hey,
Really?
John, can you tell us where we could where we could find out where you're playing?
Well, we need another hour.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, where we can find out. Not all the
Well, you
places.
see 8 places tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
right.
when-
Tomorrow we're actually
No.
BrueCrew.com.
BrueCrew.com.
And it's BrueCrew. BrueCrew.com.
Or
Right here.
The Instagram
go to Facebook.
and Facebook.
Johnny Boy Brew.
Johnny Boy Bro. Yep.
And send him a friend request, and he won't know you, but he'll friend you anyway.
And I have exciting new breaking news to close this thing out.
Are you pregnant?
On May 3rd,
Oh,
everybody that loves Aloha Monkey and loves the Brue Crew is going to love this. On May 3rd, we are, and this is very dear to my heart, we are doing a benefit for the Wounded Warriors at the headliner, and it's going to be Brue Monkey.
Brew Monkey.
So I expect our fans and Aloha Monkeys fans out in force, and we are going to do this, and it's going to be awesome. It's May 3rd. We're 2 to 4 at the headliner. It's a great cause, Wounded Warriors, and we're going to put this whole thing together and have a great time. It's going to be
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So, are you saying we're gonna get to experience this podcast in a performance?
Okay, thanks everybody. And now a little message from No Not Necklace Carrier.
The Aloha Monkey Shorecast Podcast would like to thank our sponsor, No Not Necklace Carrier. How many times has your lady handed you a tangled mess of necklaces to unravel? Make both of your lives easier with No Not Necklace Carrier, the perfect jewelry carrier for travel and home that keeps necklaces tangle-free. With plenty of room for all her accessories in 3 great designs, No Knot is the perfect gift or a must-have for traveling musicians, visit nonotnecklace.com and grab yours for under $20.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks to Brue Crew for coming out tonight. This is our season 2, episode 1. First cover band, and we got an original out of them.
Oh yeah, we got
awesome.
we got something coming out.
Shout out to
It's
my
gonna be
brother.
awesome.
Shout out to my brother Kevin. And you know what? Thank you for having us, guys.
Bob, we're gonna do it
Yes,
right in the
absolutely.
studio right
Awesome.
now, right?
That's right. We're
We're
going to do it right
studio.
now, and
We're gonna do it. Oh,
so
good.
be prepared for hearing that. So everybody on 3, aloha. 1, 2, 3. Aloha!
For all things Aloha Monkey related, please reach out to us at alohamonkeyband.com. If you'd like to be part of our podcast series, email us at info@alohamonkeyband.com.